Hello, it is Thursday, January 12th, 2023. I'm Chris Remo, and welcome back to the New York Times Crossword Daily Solve. It's a Thursday puzzle today, so perhaps some sort of interesting or intricate theme. And I'm running a bit late today, so I will attempt to solve this in a reasonably efficient fashion. We'll have to see how that goes. This hopefully reasonably efficient edition of the Daily Solve has been brought to us by Joseph Schwalbach, Joe Percy, Jake Rodkin, and as always, the invaluable Timothy Mark and the indomitable Shoalmaster. So thank you so much to the 5 of them, benefactors of the Daily Solve Patreon campaign, for their generous support in sustaining this channel. And if you'd like to become one of them, a benefactor, and get the Daily Solve Let's Check the Crosses mug, you can of course find that at patreon.com/dailysolve or in a link in the description field underneath the video. And by following that same link, of course, you can become a patron at any level and get access to all of the bonus videos that have gone up on the channel to date, as well as the new ones that go up each week. And thank you to everybody who is a patron, who has been a patron at any level. I do very much appreciate it. It really is what keeps this channel going. So thank you so much. And also, the other thing that keeps the channel going is people subscribing to it. So if you've done so, thank you. And if you've not, consider clicking that subscribe button. There's also the Daily Solve Discord chat server. You can join that in the description field in a link down there. And many have, and it's a nice friendly community. All right, let's get on to the puzzle. This is a Thursday crossword, of course, so it is thematically interesting or surprising, perhaps. It was constructed by Grant Thackeray, who's constructed around a dozen puzzles for the New York Times, and it was edited, as always, by Will Shorts. So let's start solving and see what we have to do. I don't see any physical evidence of a theme just yet. Royal Catherine. Kate? Princess Kate? I'm not sure what that's referring to. Royal Catherine. Catherine of Aragon? I don't know. Okay, let's keep going. It's probably something completely different that I'm just not thinking of at all. All day in a way. Don't know that either. Rides could be nags. You ride someone, you sort of bother them, you nag them. I'm going to look at this here. 2003 outbreak. Oh, is that the SARS outbreak? So that S was reasonable. Fancy summer home. A villa, maybe? Let's check the crosses. Those are some distinctive letters there. Outspoken. I don't know. Voicey. That doesn't seem right. Outspoken. If you're outspoken, I don't know. I like villa. Let's see if we can check the other crosses. Oh yes, Alka-Seltzer. That's a over-the-counter medication. And Blank Campbell with the 1975 #1 hit Rhinestone Cowboy. I don't know. Glenn Campbell? That's a name. Oh, that would work with Nags. If this were Nags, this could be Glenn Campbell. I mean, I've heard this song before, but and Glenn Campbell sounds familiar, but I don't have the actual knowledge, but I think it's working out. So let's put that in. Fine point. A nib of a pen or something, and a nitpick or fine point. Oh, I feel as though I should be able to get this. That's frustrating. Salty expanses are oceans because, of course, salt water is what comprises oceans. So fine point. Oh, a nicety? Right. So the sort of fine points of etiquette, niceties. That might be it. Let's check the crosses there. Some trimmings. Fat? Meat trimmings is fat? Oh, vocal. If you're outspoken, you're vocal. Why on earth did I not get that immediately? That is truly absurd. Voicey. What on earth was it? Sticky blank pudding. Sticky toffee pudding. Common pudding here in the UK. Grocery store worker on the days leading up to Thanksgiving. Something stalker. Turkey. Stuffing stalker. Right. Oh, that's clever. So a stuffing stalker, of course, is I suppose a spoonerism. This is a spoonerism. So attributed, I think, much to his chagrin, to the Reverend Spooner, who is said to commonly inadvertently switch starting consonant syllables of words in this way. So turning stocking stuffer into stuffing stalker. And so it's a common form of sort of little joke. And I think that's probably what we're going to be doing throughout the puzzle. So we take the Christmas-related phrase, stocking stuffer, and we turn it into this new Thanksgiving-related phrase, a stuffing stalker, a grocery store worker on the days leading up to Thanksgiving, because you would, I guess, stock the shelves with, I don't know, I suppose, in sort of boxed stuffing mix or something. Okay, it gets into hot water. Not sure. Chorus section could be altos, which is a vocal range. Oh, a vocal range, appropriately. Inauspicious beginning. A slow start or a quiet start or something like that. Certain whistleblower, ref or referee on a sports. Oh, Catherine Parr was she one of the wives of Henry VIII? Am I remembering that correctly? I hope I'm not misremembering that. Apologies if so. It gets into hot water. Oh, agave lookalike, aloe, the official medicinal plant of the New York Times crossword, comes up quite frequently, so bear that one in mind. So it gets into hot water. Oh, pasta is cooked in hot water. And to dress up is to tot up. So, inauspicious beginning. Incense residue, ash. You could burn incense, leaving ash. No, is this tot up or is it tog up? Because togs are clothing, so I think it must be tog up. Why was I thinking tot? To tot up is just sort of add things up, I think. So what was I thinking there? So, oh, inauspicious beginning. Oh, a rough start. Okay. Okay, so inauspicious in the sense of not boding well. That's more accurate than what I was thinking. I was thinking a kind of unremarkable beginning, which could be an inauspicious beginning by implication. But more directly here, it's sort of a uninspiring omen. Okay, lecherous sort. Oh, a satyr in the mythical creature. They're thought to be lecherous and leering sort of creatures. The kind of goat man creature. Guess is suppose or not sure. Grammy winner India Ari. This is certainly one I've learned from the crossword. Comes up not as often as maybe Brian Eno or Yoko Ono, but pretty frequently as far as musicians go. So certainly one to remember. And oxygen makes up only 1/5 of this on Earth. That would be air, of which oxygen is a component, a 20% component, I suppose. To guess, oh, a guess is a stab. You take a guess, you take a stab at a question. Sporty Pontiac. Oh, Trans Am is a classic Pontiac, a model of Pontiac car. I don't think Pontiac as a brand even exists anymore. I think it's maybe gone now. Okay, author Rand, Ayn Rand of Atlas Shrugged and The Fountainhead, the objectivist sort of author. Pamphlets on how to use marinara. Right, okay. So I think we're going to have another one of these. I bet it's going to be another spoonerism. So what is it? Marinara sauce. Pamphlet? Sauce. Saucing? Because it's how to use it. Saucing flyers? Yes, there we go. Flying saucers becomes saucing flyers. Very good. Okay, so this is definitely a spoonerism theme. We've confirmed that there are two, and your pamphlets on how to use marinara are your saucing flyers that explain how to sauce your pasta, maybe. There we go. All right, pelvis patella connectors. So those are these are connecting bones in your sort of hip region. I see femurs. Oh, right, because your patella is your kneecap and your pelvis is your pelvis, and the large femur bone connects them. There we go. Okay, cheese-making town. Dutch cheese-making town could be Edam, the eponymous cheese. One who's acting out. Who's acting out? Question marks. There's some kind of pun here. Not Not sure what that's getting at. What about this? Hardly basic. Acidic. So not basic as in simplistic, but basic as in the opposite on the pH scale of acidic. Personal friend in France. A bon ami, good friend. Bon for good and ami for friend. Is that right? Or mon ami, my friend? Maybe I'll delete the first one just in case. Spring for one. A coil, physically, a spring is literally a coil. So my first thought was the season of the year, spring, but now we're talking about physical spring. Something cephalopods control for camouflage. Oh, pigment. Right. So, you know, an octopus might control its pigment for the purpose of camouflage. Okay. And all day. Oh, AM, PM. I see. Okay, wow. Good thing I rethought that. Personal friend in France, mon ami. Okay. So it is my friend. And then all day and away is AM, PM. So it's happening through all phases of the day. Okay, units on a graduated cylinder are milliliters. So you'd measure liquid in a graduated cylinder. And it's set in a ring. A gem is literally physically set inside a ring on your finger. And beginning of time, so the question mark indicates a bit of punnery or wordplay, and here we're simply using the word time rather than the concept of time, and the beginning of it is the letter T, which we're spelling out phonetically. One with a tattoo of a band's name, say, a mega fan, I suppose. There we go. And a speckled horse could be a roan, so referring to a particular coat pattern. And maker of the first portable music player, the Sony Walkman, of course, a revolutionary device released in the 1980s? Was it the late 70s or the 1980s? Certainly associated most strongly with the 80s. Cassette tape player. When doubled, mouse bopping bunny in a children's song. Oh, little bunny foo-foo, hopping through the forest. Something sort of disturbing animals and bumping them on the head or something. I don't remember exactly how it goes. But in any case, it was little bunny foo-foo is the animal. Easy peasy is very easy. Easy peasy. Lemon squeezy. Difficult. Lemon difficult. So what is this? I don't know. Shinzo Abe, Japan's longest serving prime minister. Of course, also recently assassinated, tragically. Okay, part of some musical keys is ebony. I don't think this is ebony still used in piano keyboards traditionally? I guess piano keys are probably made from all sorts of different materials depending on the cost of the instrument. In any case, effortless is easy peasy. And passes but not with flying colors. Gets a B or a C. Passes but not with flying colors. That probably gets a C. Passing grade, but let's not put that in. Let's just let it be filled in with the crosses because I'm not really certain. It could be a B or a C. Gossip slangily is gab or something. When both hands are up. When both hands are, at noon. When both hands on a clock face are up. And unit of RAM could be a megabyte. So RAM, random access memory on a computer. It could be meg. Gossip slang. Tea is in spill the tea is in the current idiom. Representatives work. If it's a representative in the United States House of Congress, legislation or what? What is this? Let's look at this probably spoonerism here. A bookie. So a bookmaker is a betting. I don't know. It's such a vague clue. Oh, that's so interesting. This is these other ones were these big long phrases that were painting a picture that made it a bit easier to jump to the answer, but I'm not quite achieving it here, which is a shame. let's see about this. Representatives were, oh right, we already looked at that. Angsty hip hop subgenre. I don't even know to what extent this is a thing, but emo rap, I bet, because the New York Times loves the uh, music genre emo, presumably for the same reason it loves Brian Eno. It's a useful collection of letters to go next to one another. And so I sort of suspect the angsty hip hop subgenre is emo rap. That's very funny. Okay, what about this? Prestigious university, oh, and 58 across. And 58 across is 49 Downs City familiarly. Well, the familiarly bit makes me think it's probably NOLA for New Orleans, Louisiana. So, what's a prestigious university in New Orleans? I don't know. I mean, maybe I do, but I can't think right now. Winners of a 1932 Australian war in quotation marks. The war being in quotation marks makes me think this is somewhat tongue-in-cheek, so maybe emus? I don't know the context around this. I'll have to look it up. Emus versus, I don't know, kangaroos or something maybe. Representatives work. Agency? I don't know. Oh, Tulane. That's a university. Is that in New Orleans? Well, you'd think I would know that, but I don't think I do know. But maybe I do somewhere in my mind, and it popped into my head. So let's see. Does that help here? Something better would be the opposite phrase. Getting better. Oh, a betting getter. Yes, there we go. Someone who gets bets, who takes bets for, I don't know, a horse race or something, or anything, I guess. And there we go. We've turned getting better, the phrase, into a betting getter, a bookie. So let's keep going. Powerful engines are turbines or what? Feature of many a belly. Feature of many a belly. And a card game shout could be the game of Uno. Inedible jelly on a buffet table. Inedible jelly on a buffet table. Jelly. What would be a jelly on a buffet table that is inedible? I'm sure it'll be obvious when I see it. And here's our presumably final spoonerism. Devices that help dentists monitor anesthesia. Question mark. Oof, I don't know. I don't have enough filled in to really take a guess there. On point could be on toe. When a ballet dancer is on point, they're on toe. Does that work? Powerful engines. One with an upturned nose, so to speak, a snob. You turn up your nose at someone or something you see as beneath you because you're a snob. A common catch could be, not sure. CPR specialists are EMTs, emergency medical technicians performing, what is CPR? Something resuscitation? It's, when you try to resuscitate somebody who's not breathing. So sterno, is this relating to what? Is that the fuel being used for the sort of hot plate? Sterno. It's definitely something relevant to buffet tables. Oh, feature of many a belly is an innie, as in an innie or outie belly button. There we go. And powerful engines. Oh, turbocharged engines, I guess. Common catch. Oh, is a bass, as in a sea bass, a fish. And another common catch is a tuna. Oh, that's a nice cross there. Tuna and bass. Very nice. So, numbing. Devices that help dentists monitor anesthesia. Numbing. And why dentists in particular? Why not any doctor using anesthesia? Is there a reason for that? I'm not sure. Car once advertised with the slogan, "The power to surprise." I don't know, in 3 letters, a BMW or a Kia, or Kia would fit, actually. The letters would sort of fit. Repeated words in an analogy. Oh, yeah, is to. So A is to B as X is to Y in an analogy. So maybe it is Kia. Pronto. Yes, pronto. ASAP, as soon as possible. Okay, I don't recognize that slogan at all, but that doesn't matter because I think we have the answer. Company whose mascots are sheep with numbers painted on them. Hmm. Don't think I recognize that either. Animal whose titles often feature two animals. Oh, Aesop and his fables. I can't think of it. I just thought of the fox and the grapes, but of course those aren't two animals. But yes, often those fables will have two animals. Is the tortoise and the hare, is that an Aesop's fable or is that something else? I don't know. Organization using millimeter wave scanners, or the TSA, the Transport Security Agency, which scans baggage at the airport. Company whose mascots are sheep with numbers painted on them is Serta, maybe? Because they make mattresses, and counting sheep is a sort of classic, stereotypical way to fall asleep. So maybe it's Serta. Schubert of Broadway's Schubert Theater. Oh, that's a tough cross, isn't it? If you didn't know either of these proper nouns. Lee, I suppose it must be. So this is going to be a C or a B. It's looking like a C. A B would be pretty unusual in this part of a word. So numbing trackers. Oh, tracking numbers. Right. Okay. There we go. That was a little more difficult for me to see. So we're switching around the whole first syllable of the word. So tracking numbers, of course, a common concept, especially these days, becomes numbing trackers, the devices that help dentists monitor anesthesia. So not particularly specific to dentists, but I guess dentists could use these as well as anyone else. Representatives work, agent, okay, I don't know. Its flag has Allahu Akbar written 22 times. Is it Iran or Oman? I wish I just knew that right immediately. I think my guess would be Iran. That was my first thought, and that's what I think it is. Does that help here? Scram. Git, I guess. Git, scram, yeah. Sort of a dialect kind of way of saying get out. And Hunt and Peck says agentry. Is that right? Yeah. Okay. What? I don't think I'm familiar with this word. A representative's work is agentry. Being an agent, I suppose. That's interesting. So if you represent someone as an agent, you're performing agentry. Okay, I think that's a new word for me, actually, which is relatively unusual for the crossword. I mean, I don't count proper nouns as that. That's different. But when it comes to sort of ordinary vocabulary, yeah, I think that's a new one. All right, interesting. So it makes sense. It's sort of the noun verb of noun form of the activity of an agent as opposed to an agent, him or herself. Anyway, there we go. So let's look at our theme. This is a good Thursday theme. It isn't very complex grid-wise, but it's very linguistically amusing and interesting. So our grocery store worker on the days leading up to Thanksgiving, our stocking stuffer becomes a stuffing stalker. The pamphlets on how to use marinara, our flying saucers become saucing flyers. The bookie, I appreciate this for being such a simple clue, whereas most of these needed fairly tortured phrases in order to make the resultant phrase have any particular meaning. But here we just have a bookie, in which the phrase getting better becomes a betting getter. A bookie is a betting getter. And finally, we're back to our long phrases here, but the devices that help dentists monitor anesthesia, our tracking numbers become numbing trackers. And there we go. Very clever theme from Grant Thackeray. Really enjoyed that. And I don't think we've had a spoonerism theme in a while. I mean, I'm sure we have at least once or twice since I started doing this series, but not recently. So there we go. That's a good one. All right. I hope you enjoyed it. I'll be back tomorrow for the Friday puzzle when we'll dispense with these themes and it'll be nothing but clue solving. So do join me then. But until that point, please do have an excellent remainder of your Thursday. Take care.